think the next portfolio is Oussama Ait Mezouar. That's totally wrong. I can feel it. I apologize. Oh, does the stats down below still say 760? Maybe it's not up to date. I have right now I have a 970. Sweden's good. It's cold. It's dark really fast, but it's good. So, environment artists. This good fellow is a small time to props, please, and advice. What else we got said here? And if I'm going the right direction, and what I have to change to be better, and some ideas for putting props to create good environments. Water is good for you guys. I never drink enough, and now I'm drinking a ton. So, oh, that's cool. So right now your portfolio is very random. We'll just say that. Like you have a lot of pieces that look like they're supposed to be in the same scene. And they're titled in an odd way. And then it looks like you dived into substance a little bit. So I wouldn't I mean, if you're saying 3D environment artist, props artist, I don't think you need substances in your portfolio. Unless you're going to like go in and make them real nice. A little bit of a side tangent because chat is talking about good reasons to upgrade and bad reasons to upgrade to the RTX cards. There are a couple people now that are starting to do updates that are utilizing the RTX cards. So the baking capabilities that from Algorithmic have substantially lowered in time. I'll pull up a tweet maybe if I can remember. They tweeted a GIF that showed a comparison of before and after RTX for baking, and it's substantially faster. RTX Light Baker and Unreal would be great. Okay, so back to the portfolio. Oh, the other one is Battlefield 5's update for their RTX tech, their RTX backend for that good old game. I think on ultra settings for high-end computers, they added around 30 frames. So they just optimized it and made any changes they needed to. So if you don't use Designer for environments, do you paint them in, do you make the textures in Painter? I mean, I see what you're saying. So you can buy or you can download for free materials as well. Most of the time, the things you're texturing are materials like this. And it's when it gets really particular, like walls and floors and stuff, that's when you could use Designer to make that. But like right now, I think looking at this portfolio, I think the Substance Designer materials that are presented here look like you're trying to put them in your portfolio to show that you're relevant versus like excelling in the tool to get the quality up high enough so that they can be like, oh, this guy knows how to make substance materials too. Because right now it's like, I think this one. Oh yeah, see, there's even more in here that I didn't know about. So there's a thing of presentation, and then there's a thing of understanding like how the materials work and how they're put together. Because like there's stuff like the pattern that's going the cloudy pattern to simulate marble is actually transitioning to each tile, which would imply that maybe it's just one giant piece of marble and then they like glued on like gold foil for these. But if these are separate, then the patterns need to break. You know what I mean? Later Respio. Yeah, and then if you're going to get really into substance, it's height map first. Make that look really good. Get your AO generated on top of it so that you can help understand the shapes and make sense of things. And then get your roughness on point. Then you can look at your albedo. You have return from food. Nice. How is food? This looks pretty cool. So this is another example of like, so I know what you're making, right? I see it and I understand it. And then I know for a fact that like, well, I guess I shouldn't say I know for a fact. I know that this is probably made without reference. You know what I mean? Like understanding how these are put together in real life and where they're most commonly seen in reality versus Pumpkin King, and Jay Mobley. Thanks for the follow, guys. It means a load. It means so much. What was I gonna say about this? So the way that it's shaped and scaled, there's two things with that. You can either make this barrier look like a barrier that you recognize and know through reference, right? Which may be contextual to where you're from. So like a traffic barrier in India, for example, versus a traffic barrier in like New York City. Those are probably different. They probably look different and they probably have different like signage on them and color selection. So that's one thing. The other thing is like when you make something like this for an audience, which is anyone that looks at your portfolio, the more recognizable one is probably going to be the American one, because it's the one that's probably in most US movies, right? So then not only reference, but following like maybe like industry norms as far as culture, like film culture, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I feel like you weren't looking at reference for this, but the part that confuses me is there's these, which makes me think that you saw that somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like these mean something, and I don't know what they mean. I'm guessing that that's an area where another one that's next to it attaches to it, and there's like a little bolt thing that they screw on together to keep them all kind of tied together once you make like a long chain of them. But I don't think you'll need another color if you're just showing off this model. You could show like the first image with this, and then like the second image with like 4 or 5 different colors or different states of like damaged ones and stuff like that. This one's cool. It gives you context. Understanding the scale of this is hard. I'm not sure how big that is. Oh, I like this one. The wear on it is very like these are earphones that you would get in a game. See, and again with all the different colors, I think you just need to pick one. And I really like the blue one. I think the blue one's fine. This actually interests me a lot more because it looks like you actually were sculpting the wrinkles and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. The rocks are pretty cool. They're much more stylized than the other stuff. Than if you were to make a realistic rock. But I'm assuming that's intentional. So if this is a low poly cracked rock, it's about 700 tries. Hope you like Winky. Winky face. Where's the low poly image though? That's what we're looking for, right? So if you're gonna say low poly, I bet you just forgot to upload it into here because I don't see it. So just so you remember that. This looks pretty good. Oh yeah, you've showed me this stuff before. Yeah. Without the AO, I don't even think you need. Like just showing this That's enough. I would put a little bit more character into the where things meet. Like maybe there's a little bit of dirt or little rocks or pebbles or something that's in the material. It just kind of builds up in these little areas. Maybe some edge highlights and stuff. And don't be afraid to exaggerate these shapes just a little bit more, because when they bake out, they're going to be quite flat. You see how they're getting lost, except for like on those really like the harsh light transitional phase when it goes from lit side to shaded side. It's never it's almost never a bad reason to just exaggerate those a bit. And the idea that you have to sculpt these is also like, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you could do you can place the sphere in there and then embed it in, because then you're going to get an even cleaner look, right? That's even more accurate to like the actual shape itself. But I mean, maybe these are supposed to be flat. If that's the case, I would make the cut inside of the circle a little bit deeper, just so there's more normal map information for the lighting to play with. So just looking at the portfolio overall, I would just say that you should combine your assets into single, like all of your substance stuff, because it's not a primary focus. I think I would make a single tile that encompasses all of your substances. And then all of the related props I would put into the same post. Like these three, maybe even 4 should all be in the same one. Like you're very close to having a scene. Like you get some stuff that you can put on the table. Maybe the briefcase popped open, papers out, stuff like that. Just propulating the top of the tables. Joe, what's up, man? How you doing? Dren, thanks for the follow, dude. Much appreciated. Yeah. And then I guess some stuff doesn't need to be in here. See, this one and this one should be combined. Artem? All right. Is it Artem? Am I saying that right? Artem? Americans, man, and our T's and D's. All of our T's sound like D's. You can do some water. Artemis? Yeah, I combine stuff. And I think if you want to be an environment artist, some more environments. Like this is the start of something. I see it happening. You know what I mean? Like it's work in progress. I wouldn't put a work in progress in your portfolio. If you have Pro, you can do the blog. Wow, I'm not even signed in. That's hilarious. You can have a blog here, or you can use like Tumblr or WordPress. WordPress is a good one as well. But yeah, it's just kind of all over the place right now, I guess. It needs some focus, some refocusing. Hopefully that was helpful. Oh man, those names in chat are like, who are you? You're this guy, right? Yeah? Yeah. All right, let's transition to another portfolio, huh?